Good morning, everyone. Well, it's not often that I can say that I've seen someone who became a saint, um, or was recognized as a saint. And I had the privilege of seeing Pope John Paul II. And while he was still alive and active and enthusiastic and able to get around, in his later years, yeah, he certainly faded quite badly. Today is the feast day of Pope Saint John Paul II. And so let's just acknowledge that we've got a man who came from a difficult background, a Polish background, where basically his family got wiped out during war times and so forth. And nearly through that, he survived and then went on to be a priest and then continued to that throughout that, and ultimately was elected Pope and then recognized as a saint. My experience, although he did many good things, he was concerned about people, particularly young people. And that's why he established World Youth Day, and having young people from throughout the world going there to be able to experience together. And that's always a fascinating thing for me is to realize just how big our Catholic Church is when you get all of those people from different nationalities coming together for one common purpose, and then attending a Mass in a language that perhaps they don't understand, but they do understand the Mass, because that's one of the joys of Catholicism, is that regardless of where we are, whatever language it's celebrated in, that we can understand what's happening. And if somebody happens to be saying the Mass, as in my experience in attending the Mass that was celebrated by Pope John Paul II at St. Peter's, the Mass was celebrated in 4 languages, none of which I understood, but they gave us the text in English as well. And so therefore, if people were saying the Pater Noster, then we could say Our Father, because we knew what it was that was being said. And I think that's one of the joys of Catholicism. It's interesting just looking at Luke's Gospel today very quickly. Luke chapter 12, verses 47 to 48. Jesus says, "And that servant who knew his master's will, but did not make ready or act according to his will, shall receive a severe beating." So remember, it's a parable that Jesus is talking about, but he says, "The Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect." Then Jesus continues, "But he who did not know and did what deserved a beating shall receive a light beating." Okay, everyone to whom much is given, of him will be much required. And of him to whom men commit much, they will demand the more. Effectively saying, whatever we've received in life, as with Pope St. John Paul, whatever our situation, we're required to give. And I sometimes think, well, that's not always a good idea, therefore, to be heavily involved, because you obviously got to be heavily committed and much is expected of you. But we're all given our potential, and we need to consider that and give it back to the work of God. Have a wonderful day. Keep yourself safe. God bless. Bye-bye.